everybody, it's me, Zach, and welcome back to my channel. Hey everybody, it's me, Zach, and I just got done watching all 2 hours, 21 minutes, and 30 seconds of Amberlynn's live stream from last night. Yes, I did, in fact, watch the entire thing. I did it. I know that's hard to believe, but I did watch the whole entire live stream, and I have plenty of thoughts to go over with you all today, so that's what we're up to. That's what we're gonna do. A couple things not related to the live stream that I wanted to cover real quick. One, in my last video addressing Alexis's video about Amberlynn, I was confused by the proof or evidence or receipts that Alexis was showing, and I think it's mostly because she wasn't communicating her idea clearly, and I also didn't remember every single little thing that Amberlynn said, and so I guess the point that Alexis was trying to make in that screenshot is that even after Amberlynn found out that Abby was 20 or whatever, like, she still had plans to keep talking to her. And I guess the point Alexis was trying to make is that Amberlynn tried to act like she had just fully given up on little Abby after she found out she was 20. So Alexis was trying to be like, look, here's the proof. She kept wanting to pursue a relationship with Abby even after finding out she was 20. So my apologies for not understanding that, and thanks to the people who provided clarification about that. Also, like, Alexis, just communicate better. Just, like, explain yourself better. Because I do understand where that point's coming from. That makes sense to me, what you were trying to say. I mean, you didn't make sense, but people helped make sense out of what you're saying, if that makes sense. Are we making sense yet? The other thing I want to give you an update about is Amberlynn's Instagram. She has changed the name to hectic.ambie, HECTIC_AMBIE, in case you are looking for her on the Instagram, because, you know, she's so good at social media branding herself. She changes her handle every other day so that people don't know where to find her. And if you go to her Instagram, you'll find that she's still recycling all the images she's ever had from the, like, 3 days that she met Tommy in person, including a collage of a bunch of photos, which includes what looks like Tommy with, like, her shirt partially off and, like, a lipstick kiss on her shoulder, which I think is just also fascinating. But yeah, that's the only stuff I really wanted to bring up outside of the live stream itself. So the live stream that she did yesterday on August 21st, 2024 was titled Have a Snack With Me. And she wants you all to know that she will still be drinking Buzz Balls, but now we're doing it in, like, a fancy, hectic kind of way.
All right, you guys. So we're having Buzz Balls in a fancy, hectic way tonight. Some just went down my cleave.
And the snack of choice is a bag of honey barbecue twists, which I do like. I really do. It kind of made me hungry for some. And honestly, I need to go on a caffeine run after I get done filming this. And I'm like, do I pick up a bag of honey barbecue twist Frito situation types of deals? But I probably shouldn't. Like, watching Amberlynn eat them on live stream should probably be a sign not to do that. And to be honest with you, I just feel like it's really not a coincidence that Amberlynn is back to just, like, eating on live streams, on camera in general. I feels like it is definitely coinciding with her now dating Tommy, the alleged feeder. Somebody asked Amberlynn if she has, like, any zodiac compatibility with Tommy, and she goes on to talk about how their moons line up or something like that.
Are me and Tommy zodiac compatible? Honestly, not really. But I will say, when we were born, yes, like, the moons match up perfectly.
And I have to be honest with you, the only reason I'm even bringing this up is because much later in the stream, like in the second half of the stream, she goes on this long monologue about how she doesn't think the moon is real.
My side profile is like a crescent moon. Thank you. The moon is beautiful. I'm not sure the moon is real, but that's a different topic for a different day. The moon seems hectically fake. Hectically fake. I'm not gonna lie. Wait, 3 buzzballs in, and I'm talking about the moon being fake. I'm officially done with my 3rd buzzball. We should end it here, folks. Someone's like, the moon, ... isn't real. It seems kind of hectic. I'm not gonna lie. Like, okay. Me and my mom were driving, right? A couple days ago. We're just driving at night. Tell me why the moon is like this big circle, bright as fuck. But yet when the moon landing happened, like, where was the bright? Where was the bright? Like, we would have been blinded. Like, because it was so bright last night. It was 2 nights ago, I think. It was so pretty. Yes, it was a full moon. And my brain can't compute. And it's like, where are the stars? Where are the stars? Like, there was no stars during the moon landing. Like, where are they? I don't know. Something ain't adding up for me, and that's totally fine. So, I mean, it's just a conspiracy. That's all it is.
So I guess the moon is only real if it provides some kind of validity to your relationship. Otherwise, it's just not real, because where was the bright? Where was the bright during the moon landing? Where were the stars? She's just truly so willfully ignorant. It's like if her life depended on her picking up like a science textbook and reading it, or even just like, you know, using her favorite Google chat AI, whatever, and asking them if the moon was real, like, that's too much to ask her to do. She can't trust science in that kind of way. Like, it's crazy to me. She spends a lot of time in this live streaming letting us know how much sex she is having. She loves sex. Sex is happening between her and Tommy.
Has Tommy ate my cat yet? That's a lot. That's starting in really early. We're only 7.5 minutes in, but yes. Am I allowed to say that? It's obvious. We're in a relationship.
Like, isn't it obvious, you guys? She's having sex with Tommy even though Tommy is several states away. And just so you know, in addition to Tommy having a little bit of her kitty, she's also had a little bit of Tommy's kitty.
Have I ate Tommy's cat? Yes. Whoops. Literally the best thing I ever ate.
And if you still don't believe her that they're like so actively, romantically, physically engaged like that, you might also want to hear her talking about Tommy's strap-on.
Is Tommy's strap-on worth it? Oh, 100%.
And if you still don't believe it, then you might also be interested in hearing about how not fake her relationship is.
Right? Just like how you're faking your relationship with your current girl. I mean, was it fake when her head was between my thighs? Like, I don't know what to tell you.
So you guys, it's so real. Their physical intimacy is just so crazy. It's so real. It's definitely happening, you guys. So I've said in recent videos that, like, you know, if Amberlynn continues to just do this live streaming thing, then it's going to put more pressure on her to respond to the things that other people, the side characters in her life are saying. And she very quickly claims that she's not going to address anything about Beck's recent interview with Karina Kaboom.
What do you have to say about Beck's accusations? So, I have a lot of feelings. I have a lot of thoughts. And I'm not going to be vocalizing any of them.
And I will say it's very interesting to me that she will go round and round and round with Alexis and the drama that Alexis has started with her, but she won't speak on the very serious stories and accusations that Beck is making. And apparently that's because it's too triggering for her to speak on the things that happened with Beck.
But I don't know what it is, but like the whole thing with Beck is somewhat triggering. I'm not gonna lie. So that I'm just not gonna be able to speak on.
Which, like, hold on to that because she does end up addressing some of them, but also it's just, like, crazy to me because the stuff that Beck has said and claimed is, like, way more traumatizing for Beck than it should be for you. Like, if you actually did those things, there's no reason that that should be triggering for you outside of you just having to deal with the fucked up things that you did to another person. And she also claims that she's so triggered by this stuff, but she, like, also literally has only heard it through the grapevine.
Because the only thing I've heard about what Beck has said has been strictly grapevine stuff, because I cannot and will not watch any of it. I literally can't, so I'm not going to. So I've only been hearing, like, through other people and such, so.
And I don't know, based on how much she talks about other reaction channels during this video, I find it really hard to believe that she didn't engage with that whatsoever. Like, okay, maybe she didn't watch it directly through Karina Kaboom, but I have to believe that the grapevine in question is just other reaction channels. Like, it's very clear to me that she probably actually does know specifically what Beck said. Otherwise, who the fuck is the grapevine? Like, who is she hearing these things from? Another interesting thing to note is that she tells the chat that a deal breaker for her in relationships is cheating.
Any deal breakers for you relationship-wise? Like cheating type deal, like betraying type deal, a liar type deal, like a jerk, disrespectful, you know, all those type of deals.
Now, Amberlynn, please be so fucking serious right now, because I know you're not talking about cheating being a deal breaker when you just actively participated in an affair that you knew about. And we do have a little bit of a change up in her stance on if she's going to be vlogging anytime soon, and she lets us know that it will eventually happen, maybe someday, once she figures out what she wants to do with her life.
Why'd you stop posting vlogs? I'm just, like, going through a moment. I'm gonna continue posting vlogs. I have to figure out, like, what I want to do with my life.
People in the chat noticed multiple times that she had a ring on, like, the traditional, like, wedding ring finger, and a lot of people asked her what it's about, and don't worry, y'all, she's not getting married yet. It's just a self-love ring.
No, it's not a wedding ring. You guys will know if I'm engaged, trust. Especially to this one. Well, talk about true love, type deal. You guys will know, for real, for real.
I'm sure Fingerlyn is engaging in a lot of self-love right now, considering Tommy isn't even in the same state as her. And we'll get to this a little bit later in the video, but she definitely has her sights set on marrying Tommy Salami. Amberlynn also is living in this dream world right now where her BPD is, like, totally under control and it's fine right now. And then she goes on to explain how she knows that her BPD isn't a problem right now because she literally finds herself getting ready to act crazy and has to be stopped by Tommy.
My BPD is acting up. No, I know when it is, and it's definitely not right now. It was earlier. I had like a, you know what I've noticed is happening? Like, usually in relationships, like, it's toxic, it's chaotic. There's someone doing something and lying and betraying and doing something, being rude, like, whatever it may be. But, like, no, not here. So it's like my brain is like, whoa, this is so peaceful. How do I make it unpeaceful? And I have to literally stop myself. So I'll tell Tommy, I feel myself, I'm about to act crazy. Like, and then she'll tell me, no, just calm down. It's okay. Like, everything is okay. And she definitely helps with that. I don't know. It's just like the most calm love. I mean, it's calm where it should be, you know?
And you know, when I look at her and I hear her saying things like that, I just know that this is a girl who totally has her BPD under control, you know? Like, it's very obvious that she totally is fine. She's fine, y'all. And you know, the reason that I think people are concerned about her BPD is because there were a lot of people in the chat at that time trying to remind her that, like, she herself has said that her BPD makes her obsess over people quickly and fall in love quickly. And when they start bringing that up in the chat, she's like, no, y'all, you don't get it. This is totally normal. It's totally fine.
But you have to understand that, like, these things happen soon, like, quick, with the quickness. Like, I'm telling you, like, 2 months is a long time for me to be with someone where I'm like, wow, this is calm. I've never been able to say that. So, is it perfect? No, nothing is perfect. But I'm telling you, it's the closest thing to perfect that, like, it's just amazing. And I don't know. Maybe it is perfect, and here I am trying to be all, like, a sabotage-y type deal.
She talks quite a bit about how she's trying to get out of her tea era and not really spill any tea or respond to, like, Alexis, Beck, whoever, whatever.
Girl, I'm so thirsty. Have any tea for us? I'm trying really hard to be out of my tea era. Because, yes, I have so much tea. I have so many things that I could say, and I just can't bring myself to do it. I can't. I'm sorry, Twinkie's biggest fan. Like, I just can't continuously just sit here and just have drama because it's not what I want. And it's like, yes, I portrayed myself, like, as a very angry person in the last few live streams, especially with Alexis, but I'm no longer, like, angry. I'm just hurt. And I feel betrayed. Like, it hurts a lot, like, that she's lying and doing what she's doing, and I just genuinely am, like, heartbroken over it. So I don't know.
And all I gotta say is you better have Mama Lynn ready to haul your ass on over to the bingo hall and vlog, because otherwise, like, how long are we really gonna sit here and continue to watch Ambi just be on here drinking buzz balls and claim to be entertained by it? I'm sorry, y'all. I can be entertained by the most mundane things that Amberlynn does. But if she's not really spilling tea, then the 3-hour live streams can be summed up very quickly and just like, Amberlynn gets drunk, she can't live stream without buzzballs, she giggles about sex, she giggles with Tommy off screen, and that's about it. That's about all, y'all. Like, it can be summed up very quickly. I feel like everybody's gonna get tired of that pretty darn quickly. And I don't want to, like, discourage her necessarily from ignoring Alexis, because I think I have provided the feedback that she would be better off not addressing it. I think if she just, like, picked up and moved on with her life, then, like, people would stop caring about Alexis, but she keeps the drama going every time she continues to re-engage with Alexis about it all. So, you know, I don't necessarily think it's a bad idea, but I also just don't think that the only alternative to talking about Alexis is to, like, sit on live stream for 2 to 3 hours getting drunk, eating chips, and giggling with your feeder girlfriend. And the girl who continuously talks about how she doesn't go to therapy has advice for people with BPD that they should go to therapy.
Any advice for people with BPD? I need to take my own advice, but literally just go to the therapist type deals. I still haven't done it, and I know that I need to. Fully aware of that.
And much, much later in the stream, she once again tells people to go to therapy.
Serious advice for girls in their early 20s. Ooh. Start therapy early. That's my advice. I feel like everyone needs therapy, even if they think they don't need therapy. I think we should all go to therapy together. Not together. Not like in the same vicinity. You know what I mean? Oh my God. And I don't take my own advice half the time.
And girl, the call is coming from inside the house. It's coming from inside the house. Take your own damn advice and go to therapy, Amberlynn. And of course, after, you know, she said, I won't talk about Beck. This is too triggering for me. I'm trying to get out of my tea era. She does, in fact, decide to answer some questions about Beck and the timers that she set for Beck.
Did you really set a timer? I did a couple times. Yes. I wouldn't say a timer. I feel like that's extreme. But I would say, can you come back up here in like an hour. I would. Yes. That's not okay. I know. And that's like how I know, like, I genuinely, like, as a human being, have just improved and become such a better person since being in my 20s. Like, genuinely. Oh, it's 100% crazy behavior. Are you joking me? Are you actually joking me? Yes. Like, it's crazy behavior. What was your reasoning for setting a timer? I don't remember ever like setting a timer, but I did like say, can you come back up here? Can you come back, hang out with me like in an hour or whatever? And it's genuinely because I did not want to be alone. I've always been scared to be alone, and you guys know that. And living on my own and growing up, and especially like getting diagnosed with BPD and like understanding myself more, like I have been able to be like, wow, I love being alone. And I hate that I ever have put anyone in the position of feeling like they had to be attached to my hip. And trust me, I regret it more than anything. Yes, it was controlling. Absolutely.
And it's interesting to me that she can talk about being so triggered about the things that Beck said, and is apparently not triggered by talking about these timers. Like, imagine admitting to being that controlling and how that might impact Beck, but you're on here claiming that the things that Beck talked about were too triggering for you. And it's also irritating to hear her talk about this like she's made some kind of like growth and she's really changed as a person since that time, because like she fully on here was admitting that she had Erica pulled up on Life 360 and was Googling addresses and things like that. Like, she does try to write it off and say that it isn't about control and that they both were doing it.
So controlling, though, for Life 360. Life 360, I've already explained that situation. That wasn't, like, in a controlling way at all. Erica wanted to see where I was just as much as I wanted to see where she was.
But girl, that is about control. Like, why do you need to know where your partner is at any given time? Like, that is fucking control. And on top of that, you also admitted to asking Tommy about what kind of reaction channels she watched and like asking to check her search history on the YouTube. So like, miss me with this idea that you have grown as a person, that you've really changed. And then also, like, let's talk about it. This is now multiple times where Amberlynn has claimed that like the years 2017 to 2019 were the worst years for her, which, spoiler alert, that's when she was dating Beck. So that means that Beck had to deal with you at your motherfucking worst. So if that was your worst and you're also admitting to being this level of controlling now, like, I think you would want to show a little bit more grace, understanding, and empathy to Beck, who you put through that. Like, that is so wild to me. Amberlynn addresses a couple other things about Beck, but just very quickly, so there's not a lot to say about it. Amberlynn claims that she did pay Beck for their work.
Are you gonna actually pay them back for their work? I did. And that's the part where I'm just like, this is where it's getting hectic.
And she also denies limiting Beck's time that they got to spend with their mother.
Can you tell us why you put a time limit on Beck's time with her dying mother? I have never done that. One pretty large conversation that Amberlynn fought with people in her chat about is people who were trying to say that she was an alcoholic because she was live streaming while drinking. Lexi, you can't be the word alcoholic or like alcoholism, it is thrown out way too easily, and it's like offensive to people who actually deal with that. And I know people who actually deal with that, and I'm telling you, me drinking once a week is not that. And I've literally only had 2 buzzballs. It's just offensive, and I'm like, I'm tired of it. Like, I grew up with like actual addicts. Like, it's just not okay to say.
Generally, I do agree with her saying that, like, I don't think it makes somebody an alcoholic to drink, like, once a week or anything like that, but I think that totally misses the point about what people in the chat were saying that they were concerned about. In particular, the person who sparked that whole conversation said, drinking on the job, alcoholism at its finest. And I think the point people are trying to make is that, like, if you have to use alcohol to live stream, which is something that Amberlynn has actually said in recent history in the past couple of weeks, then that might be a sign of alcoholism. The person that sent that message in the chat sent a follow-up super chat that was talking about her own experience drinking alcohol and why drinking during work is a sign of alcoholism. And Amberlynn had this to say as a response.
I'm literally a recovering alcoholic. Drinking on the job is a big sign of alcoholism. If you take offense to that, it might be another sign. Drinking on the job. Oh, dear Heavenly Father. Okay. So every single YouTuber who has done either a live stream while drinking or they've done YouTube videos, which is strictly like, there are like challenges where it's like truth or drink, and people have done that for content on their channel. So does that mean we're all alcoholics? Like, that doesn't make any sense. I'm literally just live streaming. Like, that's so hectic to me. I don't know.
Amberlynn always wants to compare herself to other YouTubers when she feels it's convenient, and also leaves out the context for why she's different than these other YouTubers. And I think the difference in the examples that she was giving versus what she's doing is the intent and the consistency. So in this case, her intent is that she needs alcohol as like a mechanism to help her get through a live stream. And also the consistency part of it is that most of those people are not making all of their content related to alcohol, and she is consistently weekly now going live while drunk. And I'm not here to diagnose anybody with alcoholism, let alone Amberlynn Reed. I don't think that that's particularly helpful. She doesn't seem to be responding to it well. It's like not making her change her mind about, you know, any of her behaviors. And I also am just like not an expert, so I don't know if she is or isn't. I don't know if this meets the criteria for that. But what I will say is that it's just like based on her own language surrounding alcohol and even like substances like Delta 8, it sounds concerning. Like, she has a history of coming on to YouTube and talking about how she uses those substances to cope with her feelings, her emotions, and she says that she needs them to help her with live streams, that she sometimes can't do a live stream without it. And that's the part that I think people are reasonably concerned about, and I think would be reasonably concerned about even if it wasn't Amberlynn. Like, even if they had a friend who was engaging in stuff like that, I think people would be reasonably concerned that their friend was saying and talking about substances like alcohol and Delta 8 in that kind of way. Amberlynn also tells this like kind of crazy, kind of wild story about some girl in her DMs that she's beefing with.
Story time. There's this girl that has been messaging me for I don't even know how long. Like, I'm literally on her Instagram. Like, she posts pictures of me on her Instagram, and she's like, oh my God, this girl is so perfect. And it's literally me. And I'm just like, okay, thank you. But where it gets kind of hectic is like, she's been in my DMs for months, just like messaging me about like, I want to be with you. You're so gorgeous. You're so perfect. And obviously like, so I actually ended up having to block her. And then so she made another profile. Now she's on Tommy's thingy, and in the comments literally told Tommy, you're so gorgeous, which is fine, like, yes, but then said, I wish you were mine. So I said nope. So I literally was all up in her DMs, and I was like, nah, you can't be doing that. Like, you've got to be kidding me. So now it's like this whole thing, and she thinks I'm like rude and stuff, and that makes me sad. I'm not being rude. I'm just protecting what's mine, you know? So it's a lot. There's more into the story. It's just she gave me creeper vibes. So then now she's creeping on my soon-to-be wife. Like, no. Not happening here.
I will say, first of all, I think it's funny that, like, she only ever had an issue with this girl whenever this girl decided that she was gonna hit on Tommy after getting rejected by Amberlynn. Like, Amberlynn, I'm sure, was, like, eating it up that this girl was so interested in her prior to all of that happening. But actually, the craziest part of all of this is that Amberlynn refers to Tommy as her soon-to-be wife. Like, y'all met in person once. Please chill the fuck out. And after knowing Tommy for all of, like, what, 2 months now, maybe? She also mentions that the next time she sees Tommy in person, she's going to exclusively refer to her as her wife.
But I do plan on next time, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Next time we're together in person, I'm gonna say my wife towards everything that we do. Like, if we're in public and, like, say we go to a restaurant, I'm gonna be like, me and my wife need a table for two. I'm not even lying.
Girl, that's weird.com. That is weird.com. Amberlynn also addresses a YouTube channel that is in the chat called The Ankle.
Ankle always putting in the work. Well, we could agree to disagree on that. I'm not going to deny that, like, I do watch some of his stuff. But he's literally just sitting there responding every, like, few minutes. Not the hardest thing in the world to do. But what I do is pretty easy to say. It just depends on how you want to look at it.
I just want to say, the fact that Amberlynn is able to keep up with literally seemingly every single reaction channel that is out there, and also simultaneously spend hours out of her day, like, on FaceTime with Tommy Salami, is kind of crazy to me, because, like, literally what else are you doing with your life at this point if you have time to keep up with what every single reaction channel is doing and also spend all this time talking to your girlfriend, soon-to-be wife, on FaceTime? But I think, this is going to come up too a little bit later towards the end of this video when she addresses me, but I think this, like, conversation about work being put in by Amberlynn specifically, when right now she's doing, like, literally the bare minimum of work on her channel, is just very funny to me. I gotta be honest with you, I don't know that anybody in this corner of the internet is doing anything, like, overly laborious, like, at least in the, like, traditional context of, like, labor and hard work and things like that. But if Amberlynn wants to start talking about other YouTubers doing adequate enough amounts of, like, work, like, whew, Amberlynn, glass houses and stones and all of that, girl. You need to be careful. You need to probably chill your roll a little bit when it comes to, like, criticizing other people for the amount of work that they put into their YouTube videos. I know a lot of people have seen how Tommy has suggested on her Instagram and the comments and things like that, like, she'll be visiting Amberlynn again sometime soon. And Amberlynn does confirm in this stream a couple different times that there are plans to see Tommy soon.
What is next for Hectic Lynn? Well, I get to see my girlfriend soon. Oh, go get the buzzball? Okay.
I think if you watched all 2 hours, 21 minutes, and 32 seconds of this live stream like I did, you'll know that the most irritating thing about it was the number of times that she muted the live stream so she could talk to Tommy Salami without us hearing it. And then it suddenly all made sense to me when she started describing this as us all hanging out together, like us being the chat, her, and Tommy Salami.
I love my audience and I love you guys, and you guys are just hanging out with me, and I'm also hanging out with my girlfriend. So we're just all, like, hanging out together. You know?
Like, it feels like we are now playing the role of Alexis. Like, all these times that Alexis has talked about how Amberlynn has had her on FaceTime while simultaneously being on FaceTime with one of Amberlynn's girlfriends is fascinating. Like, she's literally just replacing Alexis with us. But also, are we, like, really hanging out if, like, we don't get to hear what the conversations the two of y'all are having. Like, we're not really hanging out in that sense. Like, we're not really privy to any of that shit that's going on over there. Even when the stream isn't muted and Amberlynn is talking to Tommy, we're only getting Amberlynn's side of that conversation. We're never allowed to hear what old Tommy Salami has to say. So is it really hanging out? Because I don't know about you, but when I hang out with my friends, I can hear what every single one of them is saying. So I think there's a difference. But then, yeah, she wraps up. I mean, the last interesting thing that she had to say, in my opinion, in this stream was, in literally the last 20 minutes, she decided to talk about me being lazy at my job.
Zachary Michael is going to have to sit through all this. Bullshit lies. He watches for 1 hour and then pieces out. Like, you guys want to talk about someone who, like, is lazy at their job? He complains that he has to watch a 3-hour live stream. What about people who work 8 hours a day or 12 hours a day? And he complains that his job is reacting to Amberlynn. Okay. Cool. He hasn't made it this far. He will not watch it to this point. So, just saying. Like, I would do anything to be someone who literally just reacts to somebody. Like, what? Like, I never will because I want to create my own stuff. But it's just like, what?
And I do just want to reiterate again that I did in fact watch all 2 hours, 21 minutes, and 32 seconds of this live stream, for better or worse. And I also just want to clarify that I think I said that I only watched the first hour, like legitimately only watched the first hour once, maybe twice. A lot of videos I talked about how only interesting things happened in the first hour, but I still watched the entire stream. And I also want to be clear that, like, the times that I did say that I only watched 1 hour was, like, at the end of a weekend where she was doing, like, 3-hour live streams, like, 4 days in a row. Okay, so we're talking about, like, 9 to 12 hours worth of content. So, yeah, towards the end of it, I'm like, this is stupid. It's not worth it to watch the whole 3 hours when all the interesting stuff happens in the first hour. And I also just want to be clear that, like, I love what I do on YouTube. I have a lot of fun coming on here and hanging out with you all. And also sometimes, like, people who love their jobs don't love every aspect of it. And I have always been upfront that my least favorite version of Amberlynn content is her live stream content, because that's my problem with it, is that you have to sit through 3 hours of content to get, like, the 25% of that content that's, like, actually interesting or actually worth talking about. So yeah, are live streams my favorite? No. Do I long for when she would post dumb, stupid vlogs? Yes, that is my go-to preferred content. That's the content I enjoy the most. But I will be here and I will watch it all. I also want to say, I don't think I have ever in my lifetime compared, like, the difficulty of my job as a YouTuber to, like, the difficulty of somebody's job who works a more traditional job, whether that's, like, 9 to 5 office job, whether that's retail, whether that's working in fast food, this, that, the other. And that's because I have worked in, like, a traditional job. I worked for 6 years working in colleges. I was in grad school before that, where I also simultaneously worked for the college. And prior to that, I worked while I was in undergrad, and I worked in a fast food place when I was in high school. Like, I have spent my whole life since I was 16 years old working some type of traditional job, and it's only been in the past few years that I've done YouTube as my full-time gig. I am very grateful for what my time here on YouTube has afforded me in life. I never want that to get twisted, misunderstood. I recognize that, you know, like, for a lot of people watching me, like, what I do for a living is something that's really unrelatable. So no, I wouldn't ever say that, like, my job is hard in the ways that, like, working at a fast food restaurant is hard, or even, like, in ways that working at the last 9 to 5 job I had was hard. I think all of those things are nuanced, and I'm cognizant enough to realize that, like, my life as a YouTuber is very differently. That doesn't mean that there aren't things that are challenging as a YouTuber. I think I've acknowledged that for Amberlynn as well. Like, I think that Amberlynn and I live in a different world than a lot of people in the country and the world in general. But if you want to talk about things that would be fair to compare, then we can start comparing us as YouTubers, and the us being me and Amberlynn. And I don't want this to be some kind of competition. I certainly don't think that I am special for working harder than Amberlynn by any means. I don't think that, you know, is a prize. That bar is fairly low, okay? I think most YouTubers are probably working harder than Amberlynn Reed, just to be clear. But if Amberlynn wants to compare, then we can compare doing what she's doing for her job right now, which is live streaming once a week. She live streams for once a week for maybe 2 to 3 hours. When it comes to live streaming for me, my typical schedule, although it does sometimes change, is Monday through Thursday for 2 hours each day. So that's a total of 8 hours. And by the way, on top of that live streaming, I also am producing pre-recorded content over here on my main YouTube channel. I usually try to post something once a day, Monday through Friday, but I don't have a specific schedule for that. And on top of all of that, I also re-upload my streams from Twitch onto a second channel, which also takes time and energy. And again, I understand that that's probably not the same kind of like workload that most Americans or most people in the world in general have, and I'm very grateful that, you know, I get to do the work that I do. But if Amberlynn wants to sit over here and call me lazy, when she is struggling to you know, spend 2 to 3 hours once a week on live streaming, then we could talk about that, Amberlynn. We really can. Because even at Amberlynn's best, you know, even when Amberlynn is fully clocked in to YouTube and doing her work over here, her best is an 8 to 10 minute, like, barely edited vlog every other day. And at her current best, she's live streaming while drunk for 2 to 3 hours once a week. So yeah, I hope that clears things up for you, Amberlynn, if you want to talk about who's lazy and who's putting in the work. And honestly, I haven't watched the Ankles channel. I'm aware of it. I haven't watched it. But I'd be inclined to probably easily guess that that person is also putting in more work than you are. So, please be fucking serious. For real, for real. Oh, and one last thing about reaction channels that she brought up, by the way, and it was also kind of like a part of this conversation about me. But Amberlynn doesn't think that reaction channels should be a legit thing, which is why she's totally never done a reaction on her channel ever before.
I just don't think that reactions are like a legit, like should be a legit thing. I don't know. It never like enticed me. It's not entertaining to me. Yeah, I know I can react, but it's just not entertaining to me. Like, I would do anything to be someone who literally just reacts to somebody. Like, what? Like, I never will. Hey guys, so welcome to another reaction video. I think I'm a reaction channel, so I'm pretty pumped. Taking a new career move. So what I figured I would react to is James Charles singing. So I'm laughing because I'm gonna do a reaction video to Zachary Michael. Welcome to a new video. Surprisingly, people want me to react to reaction channels. Here for another reaction. This was requested. So this video is called Amberlynn Reed lying for 4 minutes straight, but I am super excited to be reacting to hate comments. I am going to be reacting to a video that points out my inconsistencies. Sorry, I was going to say consistencies, but apparently I'm not consistent. I have been told by several people to react to this video. So we're going to talk about Shrimpgate. Yes, we are.
It's also funny to me because she's like, oh, this isn't entertaining to me, but she already has demonstrated just in this live stream that she for sure watches The Ankle. We know she watches other reaction channels too. And then she also basically admitted to watching my channel once again because that's the only way she could possibly know that I said in a video that I only watched the first hour of one of her live streams. But anyways, I don't know. That's all that I have for the day. That's all I got for this video. I don't know if there's other interesting things that you thought I missed, but feel free to let me know if I did. And if you're brand new to my channel, consider subscribing down below. Hit the bell button so you get a notification every single time I post a new video. Make sure to leave me a comment, hit like, click share, and follow me on all my social media. I had so much fun today. I hope you did too, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!
Would you ever
dance with
Jojo Siwa, an iconic YouTube lesbian power couple?
Bow,